This is not a usual time that I go live, but I've got 15 minutes and I need to record something. So I thought, let's just go live. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it live. I like to call this one of my party stories. Or like one of those stories that people ask me, or I don't know, just like this thing that happened to me that's definitely one of those like shit to shift or hero stories or things I overcame. Let me take you back. It's around, 2007. I'm working in New York City. I'm 26 years old, mid-20s. I've been working in advertising for 5-6 years. I'm an associate media director, and I'm so excited because I have earned this title. I have worked across automotive, I've worked on CPG, I have worked on big accounts in Los Angeles, and now I'm living in New York City. And I'm so excited to be working on an automotive out of New York. A Detroit auto out of New York. Like never been done before. It's like this brand new test that PhD wanted to do. And this was the height of right before the recession. Okay, so lots of turmoil. Things are sort of happening. People aren't really sure what is about to happen. But for me, I'm stoked. I earned this AMD title. I got a whole team that I got to self-select and hire to be on my team. I had a whole team for Chrysler, and we had a soup, a planner, an assistant planner. And I had a team for Dodge, and we had a soup, a planner, assistant planner. And then I had a whole team for Chrysler, right? Soup, planner, assistant planner. So I had a team of 9 people, and we were running the entire Chrysler LLC division for digital media across tier 1 and tier 2. So if anybody understands about auto, most people don't get this, but basically there's like those big national ads. You get a lot of commercials, right? You get a lot of awareness type tactics. Then you got all the dealers. Everybody knows car dealers, right? So we supported car dealers and we supported national. Okay, so we were managing big budgets. I had an amazing team. We were living in New York City, and man, this was just the height of what I felt was my career at the time. I'm, again, mid-20s. I had worked on several automotive accounts. I had worked on Lexus. I had worked on Mitsubishi. I had worked on Import Auto out of LA for many years. And in New York, I get to work on Detroit Auto. So I'm stoked. We have an amazing team and an excellent agency, and they've hired on a whole team. Okay, like we were packed inside the office. They were putting different desks in conference rooms because there wasn't enough room for how many people they were hiring across digital and display, digital and offline. So here I am, young 20-something-year-old, managing this large team, managing hundreds of millions of dollars, and the shift. So I am working in Detroit, and I'm realizing that they don't really like New Yorkers. Okay, now I'm not a New Yorker. I'm originally from Texas, lived in LA for all these years, but they didn't like New Yorkers coming in, telling them how to run their auto. And my boss at the time makes somebody mad with some New Yorker type gruff and is asked to not return to meetings. So they interject me as the AMD, so my director's out, right? I'm put in these huge meetings with, the CMO, okay, different divisions across multiple lines of business. And what do? I rise to the challenge, because that's what I do. I rise to the challenge. I'm just like working it, okay? I'm going to these huge meetings, running my little digital team. And when I say little, I'm still talking about like hundreds of millions of dollars that my team was managing of auto spending and money and investment for return. And I just do it, I do it. I had to come to Detroit during the weekday. I would leave on a Monday a.m. flight from New York City, land in Detroit, get my rental car, and I had to drive a Chrysler product. So I loved my little Jeep Liberty, and I made sure they always had my little Jeep Liberty, and I would drive around town. And so I'm driving in the snow, in the freezing, and I'm like not even able to handle like how cold it is in Detroit. Okay, I'm from Texas. Lived in California. The cold is unbelievable. And it's January, February, right? Like the heat, the coldest winters. I'm driving around, going between the meetings, and I'm driving to the different offices, and I'm on calls with my team back in New York, and I'm training them, and I'm leading them, and I'm just like in it. And I'm so excited to help this business and to get this opportunity, to really get the opportunity at that young of an age to be an associate director and get, exposure to that level was incredible. Like I said, FaceTime with the CMO of Chrysler. It was a really great opportunity. So a couple of things out of that was, one time I got off the plane and I had forgot or didn't know to get the Jeep Liberty for the Chrysler product that I needed to drive when I was in town. And so they gave me a Chrysler Sebring. It is snowing, okay? It is just downpour snowing when I land. I didn't even know planes could land in that level of snow, okay? So I get off the little shuttle with my luggage, and I'm going through the snow, right? Dragging my luggage, and get in, and I'm asking I need a Chrysler product. And they're like, the only thing we have is a Sebring convertible. I'm like, oh, here we go. Let's go. Get my keys, and I'm dragging my suitcase out through the parking lot trying to get to the Sebring convertible, and I go to open the trunk, and it's one of those trunks that won't stay up, like it just keeps dropping, and it's heavy. It's heavy because it's a convertible, so like the trunks had to I don't know why, it was a really heavy trunk. So I'm trying to get my suitcase into the back of this trunk, and I can't get it in there. I give up, I close the trunk, and I drag it around to the passenger side, and I throw my suitcase into the passenger seat, slosh through the snow, get back into the driver's seat, and I'm driving, around town in the snow in a Chrysler Sebring, and thinking to myself, what is happening? This is not the glamorous life that I thought of, running an account and getting this opportunity. So, needless to say, the feeling of excitement and eagerness to just want to prove myself persisted, right? I drove that Sebring, and then from then on, I always reserved a Jeep Liberty that was waiting for me whenever I landed. And I felt much safer in that car. And then fast forward, okay, this thing they wanted to do to bring all this business to New York and save the account didn't work. Okay, the Detroit Auto doesn't want New Yorkers coming in telling them how to recommend how to run paid ads in Detroit. More power to them. Good for them, Good for them. So here I am, and I'm like, I have this amazing strategy that I wrote for Chrysler for the next year. I put together a whole document, multiple pages, exactly recommending how they should take their money for the next year. And through upfront negotiations and tier 1 and tier 2 and balanced budgets. And my EVP is stoked. He thinks this is the best plan he's ever seen. He brings me in front of the new people that they're gonna, bring on, and he wants me to present that to them. And I do. I present it to them because it's a good plan, and I know it's solid strategy, and it's backed in foundational strategic recommendations that is best for the business. And they loved that plan so much that I was invited to a meeting that I didn't get to present at. And this person stands up in front of the new CMO and presents it as his own plan. Yeah, not mine. Gave me zero credit. In fact, made it out to be like we were the old agency and we didn't know what we were doing, but this was their brilliant idea. And this is how they were gonna push digital for Chrysler forward into the future. Yeah, that happened. Yeah, and I'd sit there in the meeting. I left that meeting totally broken. In fact, I left the meeting early because I couldn't handle it. And I called the director, the one that had been like pushed out of the account. I was like, I cannot believe they did this to me. I cannot believe that this person is presenting this as their own work. Like, this is so bad. So all that to say that, what did I learn out of that? Right? Like, what are the takeaways? Because you gotta, first attempt in learning, like, it wasn't a failure. It wasn't my failure. I had a brilliant plan. I had a fantastic strategy for that piece of business. And they loved it so much, they stole it from me. But my biggest thing and my biggest learning was believing in myself, that I know that my strategy is good. In fact, my strategy is so good that people will take it from me and use it as their own. And you know what? Have it. Have it. Have at it. Go for it. Best of luck to you. But you didn't think of that. I did. And that person will always know that they took somebody else's idea and presented it as their own. I could never do that, right? Like, I could never, ever do that. So that is my takeaway for you, that anytime we're having one of these turmoil times, right? Like this shit happened. Then what's the shift? And the shift out of that for me was like, sure, go ahead. Because the next time you're asked to create something like that, you're not going to be able to think of that on your own. Because I thought of that. So sure, right? Let them. And for me, I knew I did that. And I knew that the CMO loved that pitch. And she was like clapping in the meeting. She was stoked to hear that strategy. And she was all about it. And that was mine. That was mine. So that's my little takeaway, my little takeaway for you today is, if you're ever feeling like either you're not good enough, or you're feeling like somebody's taking ideas from you, or you're feeling like, you're just sort of feeling the heaviness of it, those are the people who don't know how to climb out. Those are the people who don't know how to create the strategy, and those ideas are not that person's. So yeah, leave me some questions in the comments. Let me know. What do you think? Have you ever experienced something like that? How would you deal with it?